let's go to the next one. Jennifer, who's not on the call right now, but she had some great questions that I think will be super relevant. So question number one, how important is it to invest in a team for the growth of your business? How do you identify your needs as a business owner? And what are some of the roles contract workers fill on your team? So this is a great question. I think so many people question, should I have a team? Do I need to grow a team? Can I afford to grow a team? And I would say, hell yeah, everybody needs a team. I mean, if we're honest with ourselves and we truly want to do great work, everybody needs a team. Everybody needs to do the things that the chunk of work that absolutely drains your soul because there's somebody out there who does those things and it lights their souls up. And imagine if you got the people to do that stuff and you did the stuff that lights your soul up, imagine what would happen to everything that you're doing. And there's just certain tasks, if we gave a dollar value of, say, your time's worth $100 an hour, and certain tasks you're doing are, they're just tedious, and you're paying yourself $100 an hour to do stuff that you have no business doing, because there's people who will happily do it for $20 an hour. And we just have to we have to put on an entrepreneur hat sometime. And I mean, this is a new game for me in the last 5 or 6 years out of my 17-year career of really thinking in this way of, there's just things I have no business doing anymore that, it takes me 5 minutes of delegation. It takes somebody else an hour to 2 hours and $20 to $30 to go do these tasks. And so I would say, as the entrepreneur and the creator, make a list of it's all about knowing ourselves. So what are our strengths? What do we love doing? What are the things that we know we have to do in order to get us to our next level, whatever our next level is? And then what are the things that drain our energy, take up the most time, and that you think somebody else would be able to do so much better? And obviously there's a reality situation. And the reality is that sometimes we don't have money to pay people, but some people have an entrepreneurial spirit and they just don't have any good ideas right now to work on. And what I've done to get to where we're at with Magic Media is I enroll people as business partners. So you could find somebody that can work 20 hours a week and they could invest in your project. And maybe they have a part-time job on the side, but they can put in 15 or 20 hours into your business. And you could do a revenue share with them and figure out what is a fair split. And that obviously takes an exploration. You have to figure out, how much money am I making right now? If I had paid 20% of that money to this person, how much would I have? And could I afford to do that right now? And if you have money and your business is making more money, it's a thing of releasing control, of putting our trust in somebody else to do an exceptional job. And I always let people know at the beginning of the relationship that we're doing a 3-month experiment, and we're going to be honest. Every month, we're going to have a check-in on what's going great, what could be improved, and how we're feeling about the relationship and the partnership, so that there's just open, honest, kind, and caring communication that we want to figure out if this is the best fit for you, your life and your goals, and me and my life. And I've had plenty of relationships that they just actually, this wasn't fit. Let's just we tried it. It didn't work. I got to find somebody that is a better fit, that's going to be more passionate for the long term. And I mean, I'm going through that right now with my operations person. She stayed for 6 months. She's moving on. And that was a choice that she made. I thought she was great, but it wasn't a fit for her lifestyle. And so I'm like, okay, cool. That's fine. Somebody better is going to fill that position. So should you get a team? Yes. You have to figure out what are the most important roles that are going to move you forward. Chances are the most important roles are either your image. So if your image isn't looking professional online, then that might be an area that you want to find somebody that can uplift your image so that it resonates in a new and upbeat way. If, tech is a piece, finding somebody that can do all the technical work for you so that you're not spending days and days stressed and frustrated and resenting the job that you're doing because you're doing something that is just not your strength. And I mean, for one, I am not a technical person. I've had technical people supporting me for years because that's just not my wheelhouse. And that's okay. I don't have to learn it. There's plenty of tech geeks out there that just love that. I could go on, but Claudia, do you want to share anything as well? Because I know you're growing a team right now.
Oof, this is a huge topic. This has been like a big part of my own karma in this lifetime of being able to go from someone who was able to do a lot of things and did all the things for a long time to then trusting, finding, empowering, and really creating the infrastructure for somebody to actually come in and help me has been years in the making. And I've learned a lot of things the hard way. But I'm at the point where there's absolutely no way to grow. At a certain point, you are just an army of one. And as everybody knows, when you first start out, you have to do all the things. But eventually what you find is to really optimize your time, you have to get the most juice out of your hour in every day, in order to grow your business, scale your business. So it doesn't make sense if you're wanting to bill, $200, $300, hopefully $1,000 an hour, let's say, and you're doing $15 an hour bookkeeping work, just doesn't make sense. So that's the part where you have to really look at, how am I spending my day? What is sucking my life force out of me that I hate doing and I don't want to do anymore? And make a list and start with one thing. And that was the thing that I should have done a long time ago, is not like I tried to find my unicorn person that did all these things that I needed done instead of just one person to do this one thing that I hate doing or that I don't have any business doing because it's only, so bookkeeping was my easy one. That was $150 an hour to have this lovely group of people who I don't know how they do it for that cheap, but they do. And that's 1 hour of my billable time on the agency side, and I was like, okay, that's great. That's done. And I don't even have to, and they think about things that, because they live in that world, they think about things I could never possibly remember or would probably stress myself out to remember. But I do think that it's about finding the things you really don't love doing, that aren't filling your cup, that aren't making you excited about doing your task list for the day. And also the things that just don't make sense on paper. If it doesn't bring in the revenue for your business, then let it go. And, obviously marketing is one piece that people, they feel intimidated because they think they have to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars. But really, I would find, somebody who does the part that you don't really excel at. So if it's the graphic design part, you give them a whole list of content, you give them all the things. It's actually not that much to find somebody to whip that into some templates. And, you pay them a couple $100 every so often to do that. So anyway, that's just a couple of notes that are front of mind. But the question was, do you need a team? Yes, absolutely. You cannot grow and scale your business without it. You can burn yourself out trying, but I've done that for you. And how do you identify your needs as a business owner? Again, how do you just make that list? What is it that you hate doing? What is it that doesn't make sense on paper with money to do? And then what are some of the roles contract workers fill? So for me, I have an online business manager that I've just hired. So she does pretty much all the tasks and projects, kind of like wrangles all the things and tries to keep me on in some sort of focused manner. She's also doing a lot of the now like client management systems. So invoicing, scheduling, just making sure that all those systems are up to date. We're creating process documents. So we know every single thing in our business, sort of what happens where, and there's checklists that are being created for those types of things, especially when you're launching courses and things like that creating templates and creating standard operating procedures are really helpful down the line.
And it can be easy. Just, as you're creating stuff, you have an operations document already open and you just put it in, and it doesn't get built in a day. It gets built over a year. As you're doing things, you're creating the standard operation. And that makes it so much easier to hire people, because as you're doing tasks, you're creating a space where it's like, hey, you want to learn to do that? Here's the document. That's how you do it. That's how I've been doing it. So just want to add that.
Yeah. I think website updates is another one. If you're not a web designer and developer, find somebody who knows WordPress or knows Squarespace or whatever it is. And you can hand them a list every month of the things that need to happen instead of you spending hours trying to figure out how to do the thing. So as a web designer and developer, just find somebody who you can hand that stuff off to. But yeah, those are some of the easy ones.
I love the piece that you said about you were searching for a unicorn, but what everybody really wants is like just somebody that's specialized in the one or two things. And they might only work for you 3 or 6 hours a month. Like if they're doing technical work, it's not like you're going to be paying them 20 hours a week. The chances are that's not what it's going to be. And so understanding that you're looking for specialized people. Like I have at least 18 contractors I'm working with right now because of Magic Kids. But most of those people, they're not working 40 hours a week or anything like that. Like some of them are working 5 hours a week, some are 10, some are 3. And so it really varies depending on the job. But I couldn't be doing what I'm doing without any of them. So, yeah.
Well, another quick way to figure it out is what are the tools you're using? What are the ones that are like really frustrating for you, whether that's Shopify or, all these other things that we have in our business. Each of you have unique sets of, systems that you're working with. So find somebody who like rocks at that. Cause that was, for me, it was WooCommerce back in the day. I was, a web designer that had to use it, but I found somebody who just specialized in that. And all the tasks that were that, under that umbrella would go to that person. He would crank it out in 2 hours, save me 20, and it was lovely. So, yeah.
Let's go to part 2. Oh, yeah, go for it, Neil.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, it reminds me of the quote, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You know, my experience is just with tech work and things I didn't know about my web design business, like coding and stuff. And I went to Upwork and hired people, a la carte on them almost, and that's what I would suggest too. When you're hiring, you don't have to worry about, I'm going to be working with this person for the rest of my business, like hire for one project, one little part of a project, see how they do. It might blow up in your face and you might be, okay, that wasn't the right person. And you get someone else and eventually you find someone you trust and then you can kind of build a relationship with them. So that's just another idea.
And as you said, and if you hire somebody and it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean hiring somebody is the wrong thing. It just means that wasn't the right fit for the person, which is why, as Neil said, like a short-term project to see how they work, how they communicate. I mean, communication is the most important piece.
That's huge.
Like if they can communicate and they're able to learn and do their work, then that's great. Communication is so important. So you can learn a lot about people based on how they do their proposals and how they respond to your emails. Do they have a personality that makes you feel good when you read their emails? If they don't, then that's something to pay attention to. These next two are, the answer is going to be super short. So how important is it to invest money into marketing and ads? I don't spend money on ads. It's just, I haven't done it for Magic Media for years. There's a link right there that I just posted on creating awesome partnerships. That's the 4 ways you can grow your business. That's a workshop that I taught. I highly recommend if you're looking for partnerships to go through that workshop. But basically, you don't need to do paid marketing. As I said 20 minutes ago, marketing is having conversations. So if you're early days, have as many conversations about the thing you're passionate about. Go into Facebook groups, engage with people, have conversations, write content, send 3 emails a week to your email list, host Zoom conversations just like this with the people on your email list. Hey, everybody, we're getting together for 60 minutes to have a conversation about this topic. It doesn't have to be planned. It can be authentic and spontaneous. You don't have to, as many conversations as you're able to have about your topic. That's how you're going to get known. And you don't have to do paid ads. And I actually don't recommend it unless you are specialized and you've learned about it, or you have a whole bunch of money to lose. I mean, I've lost tens of thousands of dollars on ads over the years and I've sworn them off. It's just like, unless you have somebody that's willing to do it. And some of our clients, I mean, when they do a launch, they're spending over $200,000 on ads to have a successful campaign. That's because they have over $200,000 that they can lose before making money. And so if you only have like, I got $1,000 to spend on ads, think of something more creative that you could do with that money. Host a luncheon in your hometown for people. Like, find ways that you can have more conversations and save that $1,000 for something better, like hiring somebody. So it's all about relationships. Business is and always has been about relationships. And social media has made us forget that because everybody's looking for followers. We don't need followers. What we need is engaged, connected people that resonate with us and what we're doing, and we resonate with them and how they're living. So that's all we're looking for. And how do we arrive to those places? We have conversations. Conversations lead us to resonance. Resonance leads to contacts and clients and all the things. So just find more ways to create resonance with the people you're communicating with. And an ads person would completely disagree with what I say. They'd be like, you're crazy to not spend $200,000 on ads because that'll turn into $1 million. And yeah, if you have $200,000 to lose, by all means, go lose it.
This leads into the third part of this question, though. For me, I had this conversation the other day, and it was like, when's the last time you clicked on a sponsored ad in your feed? You know, if you do use social media. For me, it's never. Like, I literally just scroll past them. You know, that's me. And again, I don't know. Maybe it does work for some people. Maybe some people are really like paying attention to those. I don't. And the other piece of this, though, is I think for me, my clients have never found me on social media. They have an ongoing conversation with me, but it's not the place where people find me. And I think that's the part that we need to focus on is like, yeah, like Bradley said, how do you want to spend $1,000, $2,000, if you even have that kind of budget, right? And I think we play with money when it's digital. Like, it feels like play money. Oh, and some social media person tells you need to spend this much. You don't think about it, but yeah, you could host a luncheon. So just how do you want to grow your business is the point of that.
Speaking of luncheons, my buddy who was the chairman of Global Earth Day back in the 80s and 90s when it grew from like 0 to 400 million people before the internet. He went on to do green investing afterwards. And when he grew how he grew his investment business is he spent like a bit of money getting a designer to make these beautiful handwritten envelopes or handwritten letters. And he got the contacts of the wealthiest people in Victoria, and he invited them to a luncheon that he paid for. And they got these like beautiful sealed envelopes that like they looked high quality. And he invited them to a lunch at a fancy hotel. He paid for everything. And then as a part of it, you know, he built his network, and he essentially did his pitch over the luncheon, and that set him up for a 30-year career. That one lunch set his 30-year career up. And so there's ways that we can go about business. I would say the old-fashioned way is oftentimes the better way because it's where real connection takes place in the real world. As often as we can do that, it's better. I mean, this is real world. You're all here. We're all connecting in a way. But whatever you can do to create those types of contacts and connections. So the last question, short answer, can you grow a business without social media? The answer is 100%. And if you go to the link I just posted, the first Creators Club launch event we did was on business without social media. I have another video on YouTube that's also business without social media, and a whole bunch of other videos that are around marketing. So you can check those out. You don't need social media. Nobody needs social media except for Mark Zuckerberg.